February kicked off with the news that Forza Horizon 4 is coming to Steam on the 9th of March. On PC it was previously only available through the Microsoft Store, and while I don't mind storefront exclusivity as much as platform exclusivity, especially in the cases of indie games, for big AAA releases like this it's always good to see them available in as many places as possible. We were also met with a leak from the Entertainment Software Association, the people in charge of E3, on the 8th that detailed that they plan for E3 2021 to go ahead as an online event. Not surprising. What is unknown, however, is if anybody actually wants to sign up for it. With all the major publishers taking their announcements into their own hands last year, it remains to be seen whether E3 will actually make a comeback. Personally, I'm fond of the conference. I like the hype and the memes and the ability to have all your news in one place. Sound familiar? And with many people tuning in to watch streams of the events in previous years, I hope it's still got some legs. Speaking of legs, I'm sure Strauss-Zelnick has some. Nailed it. He also has some hypocritical opinions, with the Take-Two CEO stating that you're always better served to wait for perfection if you can create perfection, while referring to a rival studio, most likely CD Projekt Red, and their buggy unfinished mess that was the Cyberpunk 2077 release. I'd like to take this moment to remind everyone of the brilliantly polished releases that Take-Two have been responsible for, and then laugh directly in Zelnick's face. Sticking with CD Projekt, they announced on the 9th that they'd been hacked, or as the hackers put it, epically pwned, because they're also time travelers from 10 years ago. The hackers apparently stole the source codes for Gwent, Cyberpunk 2077 and both released and unreleased versions of The Witcher 3, as well as sensitive documents holding them all to ransom. CDPR stated they would not meet the demands of the hackers, which has apparently led to the source code for Gwent being leaked, followed by a sale of the rest of the data for at least $1 million. My heart goes out to all the developers affected. The very next day we found out that the second Sonic the Hedgehog movie would be called, drumroll please, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and also that Unreal has plans for you to be able to create an actual person in your browser in the coming months.
I am a metahuman.
On the 10th came the news that the world's most handsome man, Pedro Pascal, has been cast as Joel in HBO's upcoming adaptation of The Last of Us. After his role in The Mandalorian, he seems to be well experienced in dragging a kid around. On the 11th we got the first gameplay teaser for the Young Sherlock game, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Unfortunately, with it being under a minute long, it didn't answer the pressing question of whether it would bring back the iconic voice line that every policeman greeted you with in Crimes and Punishments. Mr. Holmes. That self-same day we also found out that 6 Days in Fallujah was back, after being thought canned in around 2010. Normally I'd let a first-person shooter pass me by, but this one seems to want to tell the story of the real-life Second Battle of Fallujah during the Iraq War, with its characters being the real-life Marines that fought there, while conveniently leaving out the war crimes that occurred, such as the use of white phosphorus by the coalition forces and uranium munitions that have led to birth defects and cancer among the civilian children that live there. I can't pass judgment on the game's content as it's not out yet, but if it looks like a propaganda and quacks like a propaganda. On the 12th came the news that a class action lawsuit had been filed against Sony in America for the stick drift on their PS5 DualSense controllers, much like the Nintendo Joy-Cons last month. And on the 16th, Hellish Court, a brilliant sword fighting game the likes of which I've been wanting forever, entered early access, prompting me to pick up the demo. I would be advising you to do the same, but unfortunately you can't, as the demo has since been removed with the explanation that the game has progressed so much that the demo is no longer representative of its content. With over 1,000 positive reviews, I can only imagine it's progressed for the best, and I'll certainly be keeping an eye on this one. Skipping ahead a tiny bit to the 19th, we were hit with a triple whammy, the first being the revelation that back in November, as part of the legal dispute between Apple and Epic Games, Apple tried to demand that Valve cough up 6 years worth of information regarding games and items sold on Steam, as well as details regarding the revenue made from them in order to, it claims, show the extent of the market that Epic operates in. Valve seems to have done the legal equivalent of the old man Steve Rogers meme, stating, quote, Apple wrongly claims those requests are narrow, they are not, end quote, and, quote, somehow in a dispute of mobile apps, a maker of PC games that does not compete in the mobile market or sell apps is being portrayed as a key figure. It's not. The extensive and highly confidential information Apple demands about a subset of the PC games available on Steam does not show the size or parameters of the relevant market and would be massively burdensome to pull together. Apple's demands for further production should be rejected. End quote. Ooh, burn. The second was that Dylan Beck, aka Rudism, beat Hades using a pomegranate, and the third was that Twitch dubbed over Metallica's performance at BlizzCon in order to avoid a DMCA strike. Copyright on the internet is a crazy mess built on handshakes rather than laws, but it's still quite funny to see this to happen to Metallica of all bands, as they went to court against Napster way back when. It may take 21 years, but karma will get you in the end. Speaking of BlizzCon, with it came the reveal of some of the redesigns of Overwatch characters for Overwatch 2, one such being Jesse McCree, who now looks significantly whiter. This can be taken one of two ways. One is that Blizzard saw that there was some ambiguity with the old design, with some people believing he was a tanned white man, and others suggesting he may have Hispanic or Native American heritage, and they've lightened his skin as a way of setting the record straight. The other is that the ambiguity was an intentional choice aimed at drawing in fans of colour, and now believing their fan base is locked in, Blizzard have reverted McCree back to the design that they always intended. I don't think we'll ever know which, but in my opinion it was a bad move either way. Representation is important, and Blizzard have never officially confirmed that McCree was white, so would it have been so hard to say yeah he's Hispanic or yeah he's Native American and rolled with it? In completely different news, Ubisoft have finally confirmed a launch date for Watch Dogs Legion's long-awaited online mode on the 22nd. The mode will be coming on the 9th of March, ideally also with a patch that makes the blooming thing stop crashing so often. With the 24th came the news that PlayStation exclusive Days Gone would be following the footsteps of Horizon Zero Dawn to be exclusive no longer and will be coming to PC sometime soon. Fingers very, very crossed that the next one they announce will be God of War. I want to throw an axe. Plus, if any PS5 owners are going to get all up in arms about this perceived betrayal like they did with Zero Dawn, I'd be very willing to take the console off their hands. Keeping the PlayStation train chugging, the next day was a State of Play announcement, dropping many things that don't concern me, and a double whammy of games also available on PC that does. First was a brand new trailer for Deathloop. Not a whole lot of new information, but an absolutely brilliant new theme song that you should totally listen to. Roll on May 21st. The second was a real trailer for Sifu, a kung fu game that might be setting out to scratch an itch that I didn't even know I had. And keeping the trailer train chugging, also on the 25th came the news that the trailer for the Mortal Kombat film broke Deadpool 2's record for most views of a red band trailer in the first week, with 116 million. I can totally understand that. Who doesn't want to see a guy stab a guy, then freeze his blood and stab him with that too? That is so cool. Get it, it's cool, because he's Sub-Zero. No? Okay. With the 26th came Hitman 3's first elusive target. Well, a last chance saloon of a Hitman 1 elusive target for people like me who missed it the first and second time around. Well done to everyone who finally got their Italian suit with gloves. I'll be in my room crying. With the 27th came a Pokemon Direct and the reveal that they're remaking Generation 4 Diamond and Pearl as Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This means two things. One, oh my god, I'm so old. This is my Pokemon generation and it's finally time for it to come back around. I can barely believe it. Two, I wonder if my old Pokemon cards have gone up in value. Jokes aside, while I'm of the opinion that any 3D game past Generation 4 is sacrilege, I don't hate the chibi 3D art style, and if I had a Switch I could totally see myself sitting down with this one and reliving some memories. Sticking with the Sinnoh region, there was also a reveal of an open world Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends Arceus. There's still quite a lot of development to be done, but this early look gives off major Breath of the Wild vibes, and okay, fine, I really want to Switch now. And finally, with the 28th, came the Pokemon Day virtual concert. Pokemon Day was actually on the 27th, hence the game announcements, but time zones, you know. Celebrating 25 years of Pokemon with a performance by Post Malone. While it was a little weird to see his digital avatar singing about sex while a Gyarados slept overhead, I didn't hate it, and apparently there are plans for performances by Katy Perry and J Balvin further down the line. Thus concludes this past month. See you in the next one. Bye!